Alright. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fictional Fracas YouTube channel. I'm Joe. I'm still fucking Joe right here. Alright, today I'm going to talk about Dune Messiah. I already did one on Dune, and Dune's a great book, you know. So Dune is also a movie, and there's two of them, but they're going to make another movie called Dune Messiah. I don't know what it's fucking called, but they're going to make a movie, and it's going to be about this book right here. And so I think you should get to know this book, and it's number 2 in the Dune series, so check it out. Dune Messiah takes place like 12 years after the events of Dune, and Paul has become the ruler of the universe. And so like his religious jihad that he worried about happened, and everybody like Fremen and everybody is running around the worlds, around the different planets, and they're killing everybody who doesn't fucking obey him. They're killing everybody who doesn't fit into the regime. And so like billions have died, and Paul feels like pretty conflicted about it, but he has prescience, so he sees the future, so he knows that like the way that he's doing things is probably the right way. In Dune Messiah, he ends up getting married to the Princess Irulian, and but he still likes Johnny, even though like in the movie she's all pissy about it, but in the book she's like loves him. And so in this book he ends up trying to have kids with Johnny, and he won't have sex with Princess Irulian. And so he but for some reason Johnny won't get pregnant, or it's not that she won't, it's like she can't get pregnant, and he doesn't know why. But you find out later that it's all being sabotaged. So Paul has enemies like all around him, and even people in the Fremen group are trying to get him, and people all over like the Bene Gesserit and the Tleilaxu, who's like a group of really technologically advanced folks are trying to get him. And there's like plots and things, and he's almost assassinated and such things like that. But at some point in the book, Paul ends up being right next to an atomic bomb that goes off right near him, and it's huge, and it fucking is so blinding that it literally destroys his eyes. But because Paul has prescience, because Paul can see the future, he can even see himself in the future and all the way up to now. So he can actually kind of prove that he can see without eyes, which only makes him even more godlike to people, and people revere him even more. Soon enough, Johnny ends up actually getting pregnant, and they end up having twins. They have a little boy named Leto and a little girl named Ganima. But what's weird is that they both actually have the same Kwisatz Haderach kind of powers, in that they actually have the minds of their ancestors, both male and female, which is different from the Bene Gesserit people. So they essentially are like grown-ups the second they're born, and they can communicate like grown-ups, and they know things, and they're like a little schizophrenic, I suppose. But so they have the babies, and what's weird is that the little baby boy Leto is in the crib, and someone named Skytail is trying to assassinate Paul, but Paul can somehow see through the eyes of his son, and that allows him to see the assassin coming, and he ends up throwing a dagger real fucking good at him. And that fucking is like one of the last things that Paul does to secure his family's reign. But after that, and after the babies are born and all that, Paul ends up losing his ability to see the future, And so because he's kind of useless and because he's kind of hated and regarded and he's kind of feeling bad about all the deaths that he essentially caused by being so fucking cool, that he ends up becoming an outcast, and not like the band Outcast with the fucking hey ya and stuff. He ends up just kind of going into the desert alone and somehow, like, you know, becomes, you know, some kind of weirdo out there. So then his Paul's sister Alia ends up taking charge of the children, and she also becomes kind of regent, kind of a queen, and so she's kind of in charge until the children get older. And then in the next book, Dune, Children of Dune, the children grow up and then we start to learn about them. So that's after this book. So since the movie's coming out soon, I recommend picking up this book. Make sure to use my affiliate link if you want to pick it up, and read it so that you have some context. They've shown some quick little snippets from the new movie. The movies are pretty good, but they miss out on a lot of context and a lot of details, and they sort of speed everything up. I'm not sure how they're gonna get this whole book into a fucking movie, or maybe they'll break it up, and who knows if they're gonna keep making movies. The fucking entire series goes across like thousands of years, so it's kind of tough to turn that into like fucking little movies. I wish they had made like a long ass series and really delved into everything, but maybe they'll do that someday. I think there's even like a prequel show out there on Max, but anyway, I haven't watched that yet. It's not fucking canon if Frank Herbert didn't write it. So anyway, Dune Messiah, written by Frank Herbert, is a great book, definitely an important one for the series, and I definitely recommend going out and picking it up and reading it. If you want to read the full review that I wrote for this book or other books or other Dune books, go to joesnotesblog.com and check it out. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff so you can find out more books to read, and they're great and they're fun and you'll like them. Alright, thank you very much. Goodbye. Dune Matemo.